What's good, YouTube, Instagram? This your boy Drip, and today we are installing the Lambo doors on my 2016 Dodge Charger Scatpack. These are Lambo doors made by Vertical Doors. You can check them out on Instagram. Link in the description. And enough talking. Let's get to it. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Drip Scat with the Mod Garage, and welcome to my channel. So the first step when you're doing it, you want to tape up your door. So if your car is dirty like mine, you want to wipe it off so the tape can actually stick. Any tape will work. But you're just taping up the door from top to bottom, and the purpose of that is to hold the door in place when you take the OEM hinges off, so the door doesn't just fall. So you want to tape the door up from top to bottom. You ain't got to really go OD with the tape, but you want to tape it up from top to bottom. Like I said, your car dirty, so wipe it off. So taking out your stick. It's real dusty. Yeah, take it top to bottom. You want to make sure the tape has no slack in it, so you want to pull tension through all the way through. And instructions from Vertical Doors, they recommend you put tape on the side as well just to hold it up. Once you got that door all taped up, next step, we're going to remove the OEM hinges. And I think you say 13. Yeah, 13. So removing them top to bottom, bottom to top, really doesn't matter. The location of these 4 bolts and these 4 nuts are indicated by the purple and yellow arrows. These are all 13mm nuts and bolts and must be removed. I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be my first YouTube video, so I'm excited to edit it and all that stuff, but this part is gonna be fast forwarded. But next up, once you get this the OEM hinges off, you want to bend this piece that holds the fender on back because it's not needed. So you can cut it off if you do have the tools to cut it off, or you can just bend it back. It doesn't really matter. The location of this bracket is indicated by the purple arrow. Again, it can be cut or just bent back. Both the same. It's much easier just to bend it back. So once that's done, you want to come through this rubber grommet right here. You want to pull this back. And it's easier to use a flathead to pull it off. Once you get one side out, you got to pry the other side off too as well. So once you get it out, you want to pull the rubber off top. And now we're about to separate the wires. So you're going to disconnect them from the inside. Boom. Boom. Once you get here, you're going to not tuck these away to the point where you can't get to them, but just keep them out of the way. And then we're going to separate the housing for the wiring harnesses out. And so you just want to use the weight of your hand on top, push it down, boom, boom. You'll hear it click. Boom. And boom. This is trash, don't need it. And so from here, you want to cut this whole little piece off and to the point where you just have the neck around there. Pliers. Be careful not to trim the wires. One little clip, and the rest is a rip. You would have thought I was a professional YouTube maker video guy. This is my first one. I like this. Be careful not to trim the wires. So boom, once we got this is what we want. We're gonna tuck this away for now, put it inside the hole that it came out of. Once you got it in the hole, good to go. Now we're ready to mount the vertical doors hinge. So the hinge is heavy. Obviously enough, you made it this far in the video, you already picked up that when it came to your doorstep, so it's not much lighter in your hand. But once you get here, you want to align it. Let me move y'all closer so y'all can see. So once you're here, it's easier to just put it on the door and then align it from there. So when you do have it on the door, you want the inside hinge to be as close as the frame of the car as possible. So pushing it over like that, and then you're gonna bolt it on, same thing with the bottom. Close as the frame of the car as possible. And so this is where the OEM nuts come into play. I'm gonna hand tighten them for now, just so I can get my fitment on, right? Hope y'all can see this. Make sure y'all can see. Like I said, we're hand tightening them, not really tighten them too tight, because once you get it on, it requires a lot of adjustments, and you do need a hand, if possible, to put the shock on, because the door needs to be lifted for the shock, but we're good to that step. So once you get the door on, the OEM nuts on, you want to pull out your vertical doors hardware. So we have the bolt and then the heavy duty washer. Simple enough, you put it on, boom, come here, lift up. My door fell tremendously, so I gotta lift up the door too. Once you get it on, boom. Just like that. So again, we're hand tightening them for now until we get perfect adjustments on the door. Ideally, you want this silver area covered, so the hinge should fit directly where the OEM hinge was. So that lets me know the overall kit needs to come up. So you see when I lift it up, it's covered. That's where you want it at, ideally. If you can't do it, then you know what I'm saying, it's fine. You just gotta make a lot of adjustments, but ideally, that's where you want the hinge to be. So I'm lifting up, showing y'all my gains from the gym. Yeah, this is... So to prevent from having to lift up like I'm doing, is you tape. Use tape to hold the door up. But for now, I just hand tighten it and we'll come back and tighten it down. We have them hand tightened. All I'm doing is I'm lifting up, covering that silver area, that unpainted area, and tightening it more. So right now at this point we have the vertical doors hinge mounted on. It is more than hand tightened. As you can see, the unpainted area is covered. So we kind of have it in the right general direction, position of where it needs to be. So now what we're about to do is take off the tape. Tape is not needed anymore now that we have the hinge mounted. So the hinge is holding the door up, so you can move the tape. So vertical doors do advise you to put tape on the back end of the door. It helps with aligning the door hinge. And so pretty much from here, once we have the hinge mounted, we want to adjust the door. As you can see, it's touching at the bottom. So that lets me know that the hinge needs to be moved overall to the back, to the front of the car. And then the top looks pretty decent. It could use some work, but right now, once we have everything tightened and everything on, we just need to adjust everything. And so we have the hinge mounted. From here, we want to remove this weathering strip from the inside of the door. And it is easier to do this with the door open. And the reason why we're removing this is because it does cut on the actual fender once you have everything mounted back on when the door raises up. So simply, you just want to push it out and off. Get off. We're good to go. Never mind all this strap wrap. And again, as stated previously, you want the hinge as close as you can to the frame of the car. So now you see it's like way off or whatever, so we're just about to adjust that. So right now, all I'm doing is tightening the bolts, well, the nuts that are attached to the door hinge. So the next step is mounting the shock. So with the shock, you do need a hand because the door has to be lifted. So the door is pretty heavy. So you do need a hand. I got my man Joe here. God is building my wide body kit, and he's gonna lift the door while I mount the shock. So this bolt right here, just wanna unscrew it.
This bolt can be removed with an Allen wrench and does require grease for lubrication.
Wanna unscrew it. And then have your helper lift the door. Be sure to remove the wire harnesses out of the hole because they can get caught, as you see. So you want to put the shock in this hole. Once it's in the hole, you want to line it up with the shock mounting point. There we go. A little down.
Down.
Mm-hmm. All right. Once we have it back in, just going to simply tighten it. Cool. Once that shock is in there, your partner's good to go. Appreciate the help, Joe. And now there is a pin that does come with the vertical doors hardware that needs to go in the bottom. You'll see it. It goes in the bottom of the shock. You do need a hammer or some type of tapping tool to mount it. So once you have it in, simply just gonna tap it all the way down. So Boom, pin is in, shock is mounted, everything is good to go. Now from here, we need to make these adjustments. Once you let the door down, I'll show you guys. So the wiring harness, you do want that on the outside of the hinge. So with the wiring harness, it comes like this. You want to bring it around for obvious reasons. You don't want it like when you close the door to get caught on the like pretty much smash the wiring harness. So you want it on the outside like that. Once you're there, bring the door down. So adjustments. So once we get the adjustments that we need to be made, like I said, my door is too far in the rear, so I need to move the overall hinge forward. So to move the hinge forward is going to be these bolts, these 4 bolts. And so way I'm going to do it is top bolt, loosen it, move it forward, bottom, tighten it, bottom bolt, loosen, moving forward, tighten it, and then just make those adjustments from there. And so if your door is down like mine is, this bolt controls how far and up and down the door actually sits. So to tighten, once you tighten this bolt with your Allen wrench, the door is going to lift up in the rear, and then you'll be able to adjust that from there. And this bolt controls how far wide you can open the door. And so once you know what I'm saying, realize that once you get everything adjusted and all that stuff, you'll be able to loosen this bolt and the door open up wider rather than like barely open or where you can barely get in. But now we're going to make those adjustments, and that's it. You said what? So here we are, Lambo doors on both sides. So once you make the adjustments on the doors, so you get the proper fitment on the inside of the doors and the outside of the doors as well, you got Lambo doors. One key thing is adjusting this bolt right here. That does make the door go up and down, but anything outside of that is mainly just adjusting these 2 bolts. So forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And once you do that, guess what? That bit looks so good. I do need a thumb there, huh? Sheesh. I can take it right here.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Drip University. I hope this video helped you guys out with your install. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Joe and Dreamville_SRT. You can check him out on Instagram. And I do have a lot more content coming for you guys, being do-it-yourself videos, dash cam reaction videos, Mopar sliding videos, pretty much everything, a well-versed channel. And since you made it this far, I included some sneak peeks of Drip 3.0.
And look who it is. Mr. Dreamville SRT himself. What you talking about, man? Say what's up to YouTube, yo.
Every time I come in here.
Hey, say what's up to YouTube.
YouTube, you.
What's your Instagram?
Hey, I believe when I see it. He talking about YouTube.
Okay, all right. Watch this. It's gonna be my first video, no cap.
Man, don't be doing no motherfucker. Hey, don't be recording.
No, man, I got to, yo. I got to. Dreamville SRT. Check him out on Instagram. Dreamville SRT. He don't believe I'm about to drop this video, but he gonna be in my first video. He gonna be in my first video.
So if you don't follow me on Instagram or keeping up with my build, I'm building a completely custom wide body kit from the ground up, and it's coming out freaking amazing. It's been on the shop for 9 months now, but it's undergone so many changes outside of just the wide body kit to include body work underneath, just completely bottoming out my suspension, but this thing looks freaking amazing. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, check it out to keep up with my build.